What's up, guys? This is Nick. We're here at my home shop. I got my work van. I'm a plumber, not a mechanic, FYI. I got my work van up on the lift. We gotta change the motor mount. Passenger side motor mount is toasted. I don't know if you can see up there. I can't flip my camera yet, but there's no, I guess, rubber material. Here's a new one in between there. You can see that spin around. See that block of rubber up here on our old one? Let's get up in there. Where is it at? I can't see it from here like this, but there you go. Sort of right up here. There's no rubber in between those two pieces anymore. So when you put it in reverse, or this thing actually tows mini excavators a lot, and when you put it in reverse, you know it's broken. It's just boom, 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 boom. So we're gonna swap a new one in. I went over to O'Reilly's, and I got this right here, Power Torque. Where did the receipt go? It was, of course, the receipt's in the bag. It was $49.09 after tax out the door. Part number is C2929. I believe they're both the same, passenger side and driver side. They are not. Okay, they are not the same. They are flipped. This is for the passenger side. Never done this before, so I know all you YouTube mechanics are gonna sit here and critique me and on everything, but I'm just making this video because I did a super quick YouTube search to try and see how it's done, and I didn't see anything for a 2005 Ford Econoline E350. So I'm making one to show you how it's done. Well, try to show you how it's done at least. We're gonna get it figured out though. Alrighty, stay tuned. So this is a two-piece mount. This kind of sits up on top of this bracket that goes to this engine cradle right here. Don't mind all that oil. She's only got 326,000 miles on it. So this sits on top of there, and those bolts come through here. I popped those two off. I don't really know the correct order or best sequence to start with, so we're figuring that out. These two, this one goes up to the motor, to the block, and then there's gonna be, I think, two more tucked up in there, which is gonna be hard to get to. I think I'm gonna have to take this bracket off first. Then we'll be able to see better and try to weasel our way through this cradle. We'll probably need a swivel or whatnot to get at them and get them to come out. So I started out with these two. I'm gonna take these two off. Yeah, I had a bit of an angle, so I had to get a ratchet instead of a breaker bar I'm gonna use instead of the impact. I'm gonna take these two out, this one, try to get this out of the way, and I'll pick the camera back up after I get that out. All right, guys, these nuts that held this bracket on through the chassis, there was 3 there, and then there were also the same hardware, same size nuts that held that bracket to this portion of the bracket. You see how wrecked this one is. They were all the same size. If I noticed they were really tight fitting 11/16 or a slightly loose fitting 18 millimeter. There was one that had a little, this one, right? Tried to get at it in an angle, just the head, didn't realize I wasn't on it all the way. And it just gave it kind of just stripped it a little bit. And just that little bit of burrs, the 11/16 was hard to get on. So I'm assuming if you got any type of corrosion, if you live up in the northeastern region or whatnot, where you're gonna have salt on your roads, you're probably gonna have some corrosion. So an 18 millimeter probably work better for you. But now I'm gonna get at that bolt and those two guys back there. I don't know if you can see them, one right there and one right there. I don't know what size they are yet. This portion of the bracket came out really easy due to how poor the condition is of this engine mount, and I'm pretty sure this thing's sitting on the cradle on this side. You can see the gap between the oil pan in here, and then this one. So we're in some risky business right here. So that's why we're changing this thing out. I'm assuming that getting the new one in is not gonna be as easy. I'm gonna have to probably let the van down or use my tall jack stand and says for stabilization, try and get this thing to see where I can push up on this motor pretty well, as long as it doesn't throw off the balance on the lift, and get that thing to lift up enough for me to get the new one in there, because this thing doesn't have any play because of it's actually all intact. Well, this one is shot. So give me a minute and I'll get back to you once this is out and let you know what that hardware size is. Got it out. So those bolts line up. One here, the other two are over here. Sits up in there like that. All right, like I showed you before. These are them. They are a 13 millimeter, and the back two, I had to use a swivel on to get at them. The two that are kind of up under the cradle. But now you have these two holes here to kind of get to them there. But because this bracket was so toasted, I was able to pull it over, and it's easier to get at them through here. Look at this thing. Look it's sitting on it. That is so bad. Yeah, let's see what we can do to get the new one on there. The new one's not going to go on there as easy because I don't have room to move it around to make room for myself to work. So yeah, let's figure this one out. All right, boys. Super sketch, but it worked. I got that on the edge of the block, kind of where the oil pan goes to, pushing up. This was kind of weird. You're gonna have to fight with it. I got like my clearance bag. I don't want to stick my finger in there. God forbid something happens. I don't want to lose my fucking finger. You're gonna have to kind of play with it to get it up in there. It's a odd shape. Other one came out easy because it was just fucking moving everywhere. This one, not so much. So you can't wiggle around to make it get in there. Now we're about to go ahead and get our hands up in there and get these as tight as possible by hand, and then see if we can try and get to them through there to tighten them up, and then this one should be a breeze, and then get this bracket back in. All right, got them tight. I actually went through here just to try it first right off the bat. Went right through here with the swivel, 13 millimeter, pop, pop, tighten them both, easy. Took the swivel off, blasted that one in, I was done. I got those in easier than I got the old ones out. The old ones, I'm assuming they're OEM. I don't think this has ever been changed. I don't know the torque specs on them, didn't look it up. They were not that tight. If I had to guess, I'd say they were like 50 foot-pounds of torque, maybe. They really weren't that tight. I just went ahead and snugged them up real good by hand. I got them pretty tight, and I wouldn't worry about cranking them down too much. I really don't care about torque specs, so I'm not even gonna look it up. I'm just gonna send them in there and we'll be good to go. All right, got it in there, tightened up, we're finished. I'll go over this real quick with you. This was a little bit of a pain in the neck to get back in, not too bad. You gotta continue to lift the motor up further past where it'll sit, just to get the clearance. This corner gets hung up on here. We're gonna call this, I've been calling it the cradle. So start with the bottom bolt, right? You can kind of get it in there at an angle, and then you're gonna kind of weasel the top towards there. And then I took a pry bar, because I mean, these are rubber, so you got a little bit of movement in there, and just pushed it and got it to pop in. This bolt fell right into place. Then I pushed it all the way up in there, and I was just hung up on this corner down here, right against this. I took the pry bar, popped that up, popped right in. No problem. And then put the factory bolts back in to mount it to the cradle. Put these on, finger tight, not even just a few turns. So this part will kind of dangle around loose, but won't fall out. And then put those up, get these in first, tighten them down, then let your motor down to set on the bracket, and then tighten them. I did it backwards the first time. I tightened them to the bracket and then tried to lower the motor down to get those 3 bolts to align. Ended up being off to the driver's side more, so they didn't really line up. So I had to loosen them back up and put those 3 in first, and then tighten them and let the motor down, and then tighten those last 2. But that's it. We're done. We're gonna clean up. It wasn't too bad. She is all fixed up. As you can see, I'm a plumber, not a mechanic. So YouTube mechanics pick me apart. Go ahead, whatever. For those of you that are curious, here's a truck. There's no hood on it. It's got a Cervini's cowl hood that's being painted right now. But if you remember my last video about death wobble on them, I changed that. Where's that? There it is, right there, that ball joint. And after I did the ball joint, I did the bushing as well. And I got new tires, and that was it. I did not have death wobble again. So that was, in fact, causing my death wobble, I think, more than anything. It did get new tie rod ends, drag link, everything. But I still got the death wobble. It was that track bar. That's all. Just to give y'all an answer for sure that was it. That's all. Have a good one, guys. Till next time.